And there we go. Okay, so today let's use just our own body for our workout. So just lie on the floor to start. We'll do that same breath work that we've been doing on and off. So put one hand on your chest and one hand right below your navel, and just let yourself breathe. You can have your legs bent. It helps to keep the lumbar from arching, or if you can keep that lumbar down while your legs are straight, that's also doable. So just have your hands on those areas. And as you breathe, try to feel the ribs expanding to the sides rather than up into that top hand. Really think of them opening wide as the lung fills up and then relaxing in again. Just 2 more like that. And breathe wide and release. And 1 more breath like that. Just nice, big, deep, full inhalation and exhalation. We're going to do 1 more. This time I want you to pay attention to something else. And if it helps to close your eyes to feel your innards, just go ahead and do that. We're going to breathe in. And as we breathe in, I want you to pay attention to what's happening right between your pelvic bones. Because when you get that nice, big, full inhale, your pelvic floor spreads out, and you'll feel that as a little different sensation down there as you breathe in. And now take your hands so that your thumbs are behind your waist and your fingers are in front, and just let those fingers rest. Now when you inhale, I want you to see if you can feel the expansion through the whole entire surface of your hand. So we're not just trying to go to the sides. Of course, the front is the easiest to fill up, but really pay attention to those thumbs. We have more lung tissue on the posterior side of the body than the anterior side. So you want to make sure that you're getting that breath to the back of the body. Try to open up those ribs, even in the back, not just in the front. If we focus on the front, we tend to get a little rib cage lift, and we want to keep those ribs nice and steady and open to the sides all the way around. So the pressure of the inhale is pushing those ribs out to the sides. And 1 more time. And that will really help you whenever we're doing any extension work, or in quadruped where the diaphragm, where the organs tend to want to drop to the floor. You want to feel this containment all the way around the torso in every direction. Good, and let's relax. Bring your hands down. Now let's bring our hands to our skull. Now pull those shoulder blades down. So just lift the upper back up a little and pull those shoulder blades down. And then all the way down on the floor. Now push with your feet a little to help give you a little bit of pull from your mat to help keep those ribs, the shoulder blades down the back. And you're going to inhale as you lift up and exhale as you slide those ribs towards the pelvis. And then back down. So inhale to start and exhale. Inhale at the bottom and exhale as you come back down. 2 more like that. So inhale as you lift that head, exhale as you slide towards the pelvis. Inhale to hold, and then exhale, lengthen that spine back down. 1 more time, inhale and exhale. Inhale again and exhale. Good. So we're going to do that again, but with our arms off of our head. So here again, you can lengthen those legs if that helps you. If you can still keep that lumbar down, right? I don't want you to lengthen the legs, but then the pelvis tilts and the ribs come up. So nice and flat. Arms behind the head. Reach those hands away. Feel those shoulders ride up the back, and then pull those shoulder blades down the back. Again, reach up, slide them up, and then slide them down. And then nod that head. Inhale here and exhale as you come all the way up, nice and tall. Reach up from the sits bones to the fingertips. Bring the hands back and slowly roll down. Inhale as you nod that head. Exhale as you curl up, dropping towards the back to create the C curve. Sit up nice and tall and reach those arms. We're just going to do 2 more of these. Reach forward and curl down. Last one like this. Inhale as you start and exhale. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen. Bring the hands back and gently come all the way down. Good. We're going to come up again and we're going to stay there for a moment. Come up. Now again, if doing this with legs straight is not good for you, either because you have tight hamstrings or just because it's harder for you, just bend your knees because it doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do now, and if your neck bothers you, bring your hands back, but don't forget that this actually adds a different weight element and it may not really be easier. I'm going to see if that's someone having a problem. No? Okay, good. All right. So you're going to have your hands here. Really feel those sits bones into the floor. Think of pushing the thigh bones towards the mat so they give you a little more surface for support. And we're just going to go down through the entire sacrum. And hold there. Inhale to start back up. And come nice and tall. Inhale here and exhale down to the sacrum. And hold there. And come back up. The next 2, we're going to do a little circular motion. So you're going to come down, then you're going to come back and over, center, and up. Only to the sacrum. Rotate up and over, around, and center, and up. Let's do 1 more set like that. So curl to the top of the sacrum and reach, center, and up. Again, down the sacrum, reach those arms, reach long, center, and up. Now we're going to come down to the waistband. So just a little bit of a difference, but you should feel that difference. Curl through the whole sacrum and then down to the waist. And curl back up. And sit tall. Arms in front. And down to the waistband. And come up. Sit tall. And down. And down to the waistband. This time, let's bring our hands to our head and just rotate right. And rotate left. And rotate right. So it's little and left. Keep holding the abs. And left. 1 more time. Rotate right. And left. Arms reach. And come up. We're going to come down now to the lower part of the rib cage. So sit up nice and tall. Start your curl through the sacrum to the waist to the lower ribs. And come up. Sit tall. And reach. And curl to the lower ribs. And curl back up. And reach tall. And down. Lower ribs. This time it's kind of hard to do too much from this low down. So we'll just do 2 more straight on. And up. Last one. Curl down to the ribs. and curl up. Sit tall. This time you'll just roll all the way down. But think about all those parts. The sacrum first, then the waistband, then you're coming up the rib cage. Good. Let's bring our feet in. Have them be sits bones width apart, but definitely no wider than the hips themselves, the outside of the hips. And you want to make sure that pelvis is nice and level, so rock it back and forth and make sure that you know where those edges are. Let's first just bring our fingers to the inside of our pelvic bones that come around and just imagine you're squeezing a ring. So we don't really have one in between our legs, but you can do that same intention and squeeze that ring and feel the transversus and the pelvic floor respond. And release. And again, act like you're squeezing that ring and release. The next time as you release, see if you can leave a little bit of that tension in the muscle and squeeze. Now try to leave some of that activation as you release. One more time, squeeze, stay there. Bring your hands down and bring your pubic bone to your navel. Roll on up, reach those knees away. Take an inhale there and slowly roll down, all the way down until you get your tailbone on the mat. And this time we'll focus on the feet. So spread those toes. Feel those feet pushing into the floor without moving the feet. Pull those heels a little closer muscularly towards the sits bones. Bring the pubic bone towards the navel and roll on up. Reach those knees long. Nice long line. Inhale at the top and slowly roll down. Good. We're going to come up again and we'll start to add legs. So feel whatever cues work for you mentally, use them now, right? So that you can always give yourself your own cues. Shorten the space between the pubic bone and the navel. You're tipping that pelvis and then roll up. Lengthen those knees away. Today, instead of just doing our regular, let's do this first and then we'll do the second. So reach that foot up and come down just to the knee and flex and up. Just 5 and flex and up. And flex and up. I like to inhale away and exhale towards me. You can like something different and you're allowed. And bend that knee and put that down. Reestablish the height of your hips. Bring the other leg up and point it away and flex it up. Inhale, reach that leg out of the socket. And reach and lift. Reach. Be careful when you lift that you're not going so far, I'll do what I don't want you to do, that you're tucking your pelvis. Keep it nice and long and just come to where your hamstrings let you. So reach on up. We're going to do one now that is a développé. So you're going to reach long. You're going to try to come all the way to the floor, slide in and open up. And if you can't make it to the floor, just stop where that is for you. We're just going to do 5 again. So we just have 2 more to go. Reach it long and draw that foot in. And reach it long and draw that foot in and bring it down and come back in. And just set yourself up and reach that leg long and down to the floor, slide those toes back in and down to the floor and slide those toes. Reach. You're trying to lengthen the legs so you make a little bit of space in that hip socket. 2 more. Reach. Keep using the glute on the other side to keep you up. I think that's our 5. And come back in. Reach up. Reach up. Inhale and exhale. Come all the way down. Good. So we're going to do one more single leg version. So You're allowed to use your triceps. Don't feel like that's cheating. Have your shoulder blades hugging the mat. Again, think of pulling those heels towards your bottom so your hamstrings are ready to work. Shorten the space between your pubic bone and your navel and roll up. I'm going to do the side facing you first. You're going to cross your leg over, similar to figure 4 stretch. You're going to tip down and you're going to come center. You're going to tip down and you're going to bring your glute to help you come back up and come back to center. 2 more and back to center. Keep lifting. Last one. Back to center. Put that down. Reach the other leg across and down to center and back up. And both your hips might not be the same. This side is my injured side, but you're still trying to work getting that action right there to lift you back to center. Rotating that pelvis and back up. And 2 more. And up. And last one. And up. Bring that foot down. Reach up a little higher. Feel that length from the shoulders to the knees. Take a nice big inhale and roll down. Good. Just have your arms in, it doesn't matter a Y or a T, whatever you're more comfortable with. Put your legs together. Keep your shoulders on the mat and just give yourself a simple rotation. Reaching the sits bones for the feet so you keep that lower back long. Come to center. And again, inhale to the other side. Come to center. We'll do one more. So if you can crisscross your knees over each other, do that. If not, just do whatever position is good for you. We're going to do one more. So you're going to come over. The weight of the leg will help get you that extra weight to stretch that tissue. But again, make sure the glutes aren't hiking towards your waist. Pull them away towards your feet. Keep nice length in the tissue. And back to center. Now you could just go over like this, but we're going to do the reverse of what we just did on the other side. So we're going to come over. Is that what I did? Yeah, I did. I'm just going to come over. So this one does work in both directions, but we'll just do one direction today. Take a few breaths, lengthening the lower back so that you're not compressing. Keeping length in the spine all the way through the sacrum. And come up. We're going to go into our tick-tock. And so we'll do one with knees in tabletop, and then we'll add the long legs if you feel like that's doable for you, right? Otherwise, stay in tabletop. So what you're going to do is on your inhale, you're going to keep your shoulder girdle down. On your inhale, you're going to reach over and the hips lead the way. On the exhale, you're going to try to bring those lower ribs down first and let the hips come back. If you just let the hips lead in both directions, you won't really get any abdominal work. So really try to bring those lower ribs to the floor as the start of the action. If that's enough for you, bring those legs up straight. And again, inhale over. And exhale, bring those lower ribs down. Use those obliques and center. Inhale over. And bring the ribs down to start the action on the return. Now, if you felt like you have good association between your shoulder girdle and your pelvis so that you're not rolling around, bring the arms straight up over the shoulders. Don't pull the hands together. Let them be the width of the shoulders. Keep those hands still. Don't let yourself counterbalance. Keep them still. Keep pushing the shoulder blades in. Pull the ribs back. Inhale over and exhale, pull the rib cage back. And inhale over. Keep those shoulder blades down on the mat to help you stabilize the shoulder girdle. Last time, inhale over and exhale, pull the ribs back. Good. And down. Good. So let's do our hundreds now. So remember, your legs can be here. If you have tight hip flexors, you might prefer straight up, so the weight is coming right down, or else, of course, our angle. So come into your tabletop position, take an inhale, and exhale, come up. And in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your halfway mark. So if you want to play with your legs, and go ahead and do that. And in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 more. Out 2, 3, 4, 5, last 2. Out 2, 3, 4, 5, last 1. Out 2, 3, 4, 5, come in. Have your hand on either knee, on both knees, one in each hand. You're going to do little thigh stirs. So we're not doing it all in one, which would be more to massage the sacrum. Individual, so you're actually trying to lubricate and make a little bit more activation in that actual hip socket. So just rotate the other direction. Good. And then hold the back of your legs, curl yourself up, and let's do like 5 or 6 rolling in a ball, and then we'll go into our series of 5. So find your position, and it can be here, it can be here, it doesn't matter, it can be all the way down here if you like to be really tight in. Just be careful. One time I had myself so tight in that I actually popped my xiphoid, so be very careful. So anyway, come to your balance point, shoulder blades down on the mat, and then start to tip back until you lose balance, and come back to your balance point. And again, roll back, and up, and roll back, and up. 3 more, roll back, and up. Last 2. Try to get right in the middle, right? That's the biggest challenge if most people have a functional scoliosis, so it's good to try to keep getting closer and closer to that midline. So let's lie down. We're going to go into our series of 5. I like to start with double leg stretch, then we'll do single leg, then we'll do hamstring pull, and then lower left, and lastly, crisscross. And today we may be doing 2 versions of crisscross. So you're going to curl up. And again, if you have neck issues, just hold your head to do this. Otherwise, we're lengthening long. And reach out and exhale in. Reach away. Exhale in. Reach away. Exhale in. Reach. Exhale. Let's do 10s today. So 5 more. Good. Now we're going to go into our single leg. So left hand to shin, left hand to knee, right to shin, and pull yourself up. A little bit of an isometric. Be careful when you're really flexible. Pulling in here gets your leg in, but it doesn't really give you that chance to really work to get the abdomen to work more. So try not to let it go past the hip. And I'm sorry that I should have said that before we started. Ready? And change. 3 more sets. And 2. And 1. Good. Now reach one leg up. Crawl up that leg. So again, this is another form of isometric. The leg is pushing away. The arms are pulling it towards. Pulse twice and change up too close. Pulse twice and change. Pulse, 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 pulse. Keep reaching up. Pulse, 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 pulse. 5 more sets. And pulse. Remember to breathe. 2 more. Last one. Good. And come down. So now we're going to do our lower lift. So everybody's going to cradle their head. Make sure you're not on your neck, right? Right on the bony skull. Curl up. We're going to go down for 4 and up for 1. We'll do 8 of these today. We normally do 6. Down 2, 3, 4, and up. Keep that lower back down. If the weight of the legs is too much, bend your legs. Only go as far as you can. Keep that back still. 4 more. And up. And down. And up. Last one. Down. And up. Bring those legs back into place. We're going to first do our usual crisscross. Let's say rather than doing 10 of each, let's figure we're going to do 6 sets of the way we always do it, and then we'll do 6 sets where we do scissor legs, okay? So come up, hold your head, and across. Don't let the pecs take over. Really keep those elbows where they are. And reach a little further across. Reach, reach. It's up and over. So we're not just turning on our shoulders. Reach up. 2 more. And last one. Now bring those legs up. Split those legs. And again. Last set. And bring those legs down. Hopefully you have more room than I do. Stretch those limbs away from each other. Flex those feet. Don't worry if the ribs pop. Right now we're just doing a fascial stretch. Right foot, right hand as far away from each other as you can. Don't worry if that shoulder is coming up to your ear. This is a fascial line stretch. And release. Other side. Flex that foot. Reach the hand and foot away as far as you can. Make sure you're not dropping that head back. Keep the chin close to the sternum. And release. Good. Good, good. All right. Let's do one more thing from our backs and then we'll go over to our sides. So have your legs in a diamond shape. So not quite frog. Frog is in a little closer, so a little further away. And try to bring those legs down to where you can and bring them back up. Now, if that is good for you, stay there. If you want a little more challenge on those abs, you're going to curl your head up and again. Reach away and back up and reach away and back up. Let's do 3 more. Reach and up and reach and up. Last one. Reach and up. Good. Bring your feet to the edges of your mat. Bring one knee down towards the other foot. Reach that knee away. And again, think of reaching the sits bones for the feet so you get a little more length at the top of the sacrum where the lumbar is. Reach through that knee. Nice long stretch. Get a nice stretch through the quad and the hip flexor. Come back to the center, just one time to this side. Reach across, reach that knee away, and make the sits bone reach for the heel so you get a little length in that lower region. And then let's come to our side. And you can be down on your arm, doesn't matter. I just have gotten in this habit of being up because in normal class I can see people better. This is the habit. But make sure that you're not letting your rib cage fall, whether even if you're on the floor, don't let it sink down. Keep the hips level. So the waistband should be off the floor no matter what your position. So we're going to start with clamshell. Legs are about 60 degrees away. The feet are trying to aim to be more in line with the spine. Today we're going to do the one where you lift your feet, you're going to open that knee, and then you're going to lift the foot as you close the knee. So we're working external rotation and internal rotation. And open up. Make sure you're not falling back. Keep the pelvis in line with the shoulder girdle. And lift the foot as the knee comes down. 5 more. And lift the foot as the knee comes down and up. And knee down and up. 2 more. Knee down and up. Last one. Knee down and up. Good. Today I'm going to do some very simple hip, just leg drops to really work our lateral hips. So you're going to come down, and again, you're going to make sure that the 2 sides of the pelvis are over each other. So give a little push on that top hip to make sure that that waistband is a little lifted. And just bring that foot so that the shin bone is in line with the front of the mat. Bring your hip forward. Actually, let's do leg swings first. It'll loosen everything up. But I want you to know that in leg swings, don't come so far forward that you bring your pelvis into a tuck. And don't go so back that you bring your rib cage forward. So keep that rib cage and the pelvis aligned and only come to where that hip will give you motion, right? So it's just a pulse with a pulse in the front and a reach long, really reach through the foot and pulse and reach long and pulse and reach and pulse and reach. Let's do 3 more. Pulse and reach. See if you can go a little farther without adding the ribs. And reach. Last one. And pulse and reach. Good. Now bring that leg forward to where you can keep the spine long and you're not tucking your pelvis. You're going to just keep whatever that is for you and lower and lift 10 times. And 3. And 4, and 5, and 6, 4 more, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now stay in that position and externally rotate, toes up, heel down, and 10, 9, 8, 7. If this gets too long, the leg, try bending the lower leg. 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to do toes down. This one doesn't really work very well for bent knee. And lift up. And 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now come right parallel with your hip. And we're going to do that again. So you're going to be parallel first. And up. Keep that waistband off the floor. 4, and 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Toes up, heel down, and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 more. And 3, and 2, and 1. Toes down, heels up, and lift. Reach through the foot. It'll help a little to not feel like it's just dead weight. And 5 more, and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Give that butt a nice tap. Feel those tissue really close to the bone. You can feel that that's where it had to work really hard. So next we're just going to do windshield wiper, and then you can lay on your back and do a really good figure 4 stretch. So we're going to tap in the front, lift up, and tap in the back. Come up and lift, tap in the front, reach up and tap in the back, and tap in the front, up in the middle, and tap in the back, and up in the front, and over. Let's do 3 more sets. Reach, tap, up and tap, up and tap. Last one, up and tap, and up and tap. And then lie on your back and give yourself a figure 4 stretch. And then when you're ready, come to your other side. And we'll start again with our clamshell. Make sure your shoulder girdle and your pelvic girdle are in one line. People have a tendency to bring their shoulder girdle in the front. So try to really see if you can feel when it's like that. If not, you can do what I used to always do and just line up with the back of your mat. So have your feet off. You're going to open up. As you close, lift that foot. Open up. And as you close, lift the foot. External rotation and internal rotation. External and internal. Keeping your rib cage still. If you're lying all the way down, make sure the waistband is still off the mat. And up. Let's do 4 more. 4. And up. And 3. And up. And 2. And up. And last one. And up. Good. So just bring that foot into a full kickstand so the shin is parallel to the mat. You'll come down a little farther. You're going to have that leg straight in front of you. Really push that top hip so you can tell that you're not tucking. And pulse in the front. Reach long. Keep the rib cage engaged. Don't let it open up. And reach back. No flaring. You're just moving that leg. Think of the thigh bone moving in the socket. And 4 more for 8. Reach and pulse. And back. Reach and pulse. And back. Last 2. Reach and pulse. Lengthen that foot away. Make as much space as you can in that hip socket. Good. Bring that leg forward. So again, you're going to just bring it to where you can bring that thigh bone forward without tucking the pelvis, and down and up for 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn out, heel down, toes up, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Toes down and tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now bring it right in line with the hip. So not further forward, not further back. Reach that foot away and parallel first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn out and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Toes down and tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Good job. And then stretch out because we already did our leg swings on that side. And so that was the last thing. And bring that hip into a stretch. Oh, I know what we did. Sorry, come back on your side. I was like, we did something else. I just remembered. So back on that side, sorry. We're going to do this, the hot potato, tap in front, up and over, tap and back. Up and over, tap in front. Up and over, tap and back. Up and over, up and over. Keep the leg reaching long away. Keep that torso long. Last 3. And tap. Up in the middle and down. And up in the middle and down. Up in the middle and down. Up in the middle and down. And one more. And now you're done. Sorry, I forgot that. Get a little stretch in the hip socket. Stretch the piriformis. And when you're done with that, let's come to seated. Let's have our legs ready for saw, but we're not going to start with saw. We're just going to start with simple rotation. So just have your arms nice and wide, shoulder blades down the back, palms up. Usually we do this with our feet together, so if you know your hips slide around, you can do that if you need a visual. Otherwise, just be ready for saw. And we're just going to pulse and return. Think up to the crown of the head. Pulse, pulse, and return. Pulse, pulse, and return. Pulse, pulse, and return. Pulse, pulse, return. One more set after this one. And return, and again. Reach up to the crown of the head. Make the spine nice and long. Good. And now we'll do our saw. So remember, when we do saw, the front arm is externally rotated. So the front surface is going to be aiming for your toe, while the back one is internally rotated. So we're doing a little twist in the shoulders. Ready? So rotate, pulse, pulse, reach with that back arm and come up. Rotate, pulse, pulse. The pelvis stays perpendicular to the mat. We are just moving the spinal vertebra. We're not adding the sacrum. So just reach the spine forward and rotate and reach the spine forward and rotate and reach. Come up. Last time. Rotate, pulse, pulse, reach to come up. Rotate, pulse, pulse, and reach to come up. We're going to do a different variation. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see better. What we're going to do is we're going to do a forward, and right now we're keeping the pelvis perpendicular to the mat, and we're giving ourselves a nice C curve as if we have a ball in front of us so we're not crushing. Now we're going to flatten, so the pelvis is going to tip forward, and we're going all the way from the sits bones, all the way to the crown of the head. When we're here, we're going to pulse back for 5. Then you're going to pull that sacrum back into place and roll up. We're going to do 2 in the center, 1 rotated right and 1 rotated left. So bring those arms in what they like to call window frame, because they don't want you to close off. Keep it nice and wide. Shoulder blades and front of the shoulder girdle nice and wide. Don't let them close off. Ready? Reach up and over as if you have something there that you don't want to crush. Now reach from the sits bones out to the crown of the head. Nice long line. Shoulder blades down and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that waistband back and roll up. One more time in the center. Roll forward. Reach long. And pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that waistband back to get the sacrum in place, and then roll up the spine. Next time we're going to rotate to the right. So reach forward first. Reach long back, long back, long back, long back. Now rotate and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the center. Pull back and roll up. So the whole time, try to keep reaching long. Reach forward so that you get a nice stretch. Rotate to the left. Reach those arms away and pulse back. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come to the center. Pull back and come in. Good, good. Let's come back and do a bridge just to get the opposite action in our back since we did all those flexions. So have yourself nice and still and bring those hips forward. Bring them nice and tall. Now see if you can roll those shoulder blades back underneath you and just lift the chest a bit more, lift the hips a bit more. Really undoing all that flexion. And then slowly roll down. We're going to do a lateral stretch, and then we'll do an upper back extension. So come into, make your hip be in the middle of your mat. Have that lower leg, the knee, right in front of the hip. And you can have this leg either just crisscrossed, or you can have it in that W shape. You're going to bring your other hand to the outer edge of the mat. So it's sort of a variation of mermaid because we're going to rotate. Really weight that hip and that leg. Start your rotation from the pelvis. Rotate around. And then bring that other hand onto the mat. Don't let your belly drop. Reach the waistband back towards the spine, nice and long. Now this back leg, you're going to bring it back to the opposite corner of your mat and feel that stretch all the way from your toe to the crown of the head. Nice and long. And now bend that knee. Bring your hands a little more forward to give your torso a little more length to be a good edge of the fulcrum. With that knee bent, you're going to lift that leg. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. We'll just do 8. 3 more, and 2, and 1. Good. Reach that leg long once more. Nice and long. Now, really think of reaching the sternum through the arms. And just lift the crown of the head a little bit for a little more stretch. And then bring that knee back in. Walk your hands back and come back to the center. We'll do the other side. So the knee is in front of the hip. You're sitting in the middle of the mat, so you have a good area to rotate on. You're going to bring this hand to the back edge. You're going to start your rotation from the pelvis. From the pelvis. See where that pelvis is going to give you the rotation over that trochanter, the head of the thigh bone. Reach forward. Lift towards the spine. Don't let it fall forward. And then reach that lower leg back. Nice and long. Reach from the toes to the crown of the head. And then bend that knee, and here we go. Ready, and lift, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it down. Reach it long again. Reach the waistband towards the spine to protect it. See if you can reach your hands a little bit farther. And now try to think of reaching the sternum through those arms. And reach the crown of the head a little bit up. A little more stretch on the whole tissue. And then bring that knee back in. Walk those hands and come back to center. Good. So if you ladies have to leave, we have about 4 minutes left, but I want to do one thing that I did once in one of my Tuesday, Thursday classes, and somebody sent me a note saying it was really hard for them. So I want to do it with you guys because it's something that you can always practice on your own. So you're going to come into this position. So the leg isn't as far back as we were before. Just have the leg resting on that back foot. Now bring that foot right in front of that ankle. You're going to lift up. Now you can use, depending on your strength of your hip, you can use your hand and your foot, or you're going to use your hand and your hip strength to come up. So make sure your knee is on the mat so that it has control. Now you have two options. You can keep that foot down, lightly weighted, and just tap that hip down and up. If you know that you have a little more strength, lift up that foot. Make sure you're keeping that shoulder nice and tap the hip down and bring it back up. So it's sort of like when we do Cleopatra from side plank and up. 2 more. Down and up. Last one. Down and up. Put that foot down. Come all the way down and just reverse your direction. So you just have that foot in front of the ankle. The hand is pretty much in line with the hip, so that when you go up, you have a good. So first just come here. Make sure that knee is on something so it doesn't get crunched, and reach through the top arm. Now, if that's your spot, you're just going to come from here. Otherwise, lift that leg and come down and come up, using that hip strength. Your arm is helping you, but you really want to feel what that hip has to do. 2 more. And up and down and up. Put that foot down. Come down all the way. So thank you. We didn't get a really good full extension. We'll have to remember to do that next time. So enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Antoinette.
Yes.